We are talking about synthetic content because we are almost certainly not adequately prepared for the flood of AI generated content that we're now seeing, thanks to things like Google's release of its incredible VO3 video generation model, which honestly shows us just how close we are to being unable to tell what's real and what's not online. So, not a new problem, but is definitely been accelerated by the fact that VO3, which was released just a couple of weeks ago, already has users using the tool to flood social media channels with hyper realistic videos. They're incredible. We're going to actually show examples of them in a later segment. You should definitely check them out. But while plenty of companies, notably TikTok and YouTube, are rolling out some policies to tag content made with AI, the technology may be moving faster than efforts to flag it. Now, Paul, I know you posted the following on this topic. You said, I hope there is a plan for X, the social media platform, as well as Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc., to clearly mark AI generated videos like those from Veo. I assume there is a way to know through Google DeepMind's Synth ID. It seems irresponsible at this point to not publicly tag them on social media. So, Paul, how bad is this problem right now, thanks to VO3?
I'm not sure how bad it is. I don't when I started seeing the VO3 videos, I was like there's no
Yeah.
way people are gonna have any clue this is AI.
Right.
Like so I would say like the vast majority of my time on social media is spent on X, which is
Yeah.
where I curate the vast majority of my AI news, and on LinkedIn, which is where I would spend most of my time like in engaging and sharing. Um, I do not spend much time at all on like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. So I'm not sure what's happening there. I just know from a Facebook and Instagram perspective, my guess is the audience who is spending a lot of time specifically on Facebook is probably not the audience that largely comprehends what's happening in video generation right now,
Right.
and that these models are capable of doing what we're seeing with VO. Um, so I was just curious. I just like started bouncing around. I was like, well, what are the different platforms doing? So like TikTok I went to, and we'll put the links and you can go research this yourself. They have auto labeling. So it says TikTok may automatically apply AI generated label. Cause I was also seeing people saying things like, I think it was on X where it's like, yeah, I posted some on TikTok and they took it down and I can't even challenge it.
Mhm.
If TikTok decides it's AI generated, you're just cooked. Like you can't go back and change it. Um, so they will automatically label something if it meets their criteria.
Yeah.
So this may happen when a creator uses TikTok AI effects or uploads AI generated content that has content credentials attached to it, a technology from the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity, C2PA, which I think, Mike, we talked about in
We have. Yep.
2024 when that
Yeah.
came out. So that is one thing, except when you look into that organization, which was created by Microsoft and Adobe in 2021, it doesn't appear to be very many companies participating in it. And none of the AI labs are listed. It's just
Mm.
Adobe, ARM, Intel, Microsoft, and TruePic. I don't know what TruePic is. So it was supposed to be something to like detect deep fakes and alert if it's synthetic media, but best I can tell, it's not like widely adopted or it doesn't have a big impact here because again, the ones building these things are like, Runway and OpenAI and Google, and like they're not listed here. So TikTok it seems to have you're supposed to tag it yourself, but if you don't tag it, they might, and if they're the ones that tag it, you're in trouble. YouTube, which I can't understand this one because they don't say anything about that I could find about using. So again, YouTube's owned by Google. You would think they would have the Sith ID technology from DeepMind baked right into YouTube. Maybe they
Right.
do, but it's not obvious on their support pages. So again, YouTube sort of relies on creators to tag the content. It goes through and explains to you how to do this and the trouble you'll get in if you don't disclose it. Um, they say content a viewer could easily mistake. So the things you're supposed to tag as content a viewer could easily mistake for real person, place, scene, or event that is made with altered or synthetic media, including generative AI. We're not requiring creators to disclose content that is clearly unrealistic, animated, or has these special effects. The one that, again, I'm most familiar with would be like X, because that's where
Mm.
all these VO2 or VO3 videos are appearing. Um, And it all there says is, like, they have an inauthentic content thing. You may not share an inauthentic content on X, which is funny because Elon Musk is probably, like, the biggest sharer of this stuff. Um, so then they call, like, synthetic and manipulated media, and it kinda goes in again, like, you gotta tag this stuff. And then Meta, I'll put the link in there as well, they rely on people to tag their stuff. They don't tag images or require you to tag images. They basically say examples would be like a video appears realistic of a group of people walking around an outdoor market. So like you're not, they're all kind of saying the same things. And then the Google DeepMind Sith ID, Mike, which we talked about on a recent episode because they
Yeah.
released an updated version of this. So Google has the ability to insert these watermarks in things created by DeepMind technology, but to have that widespread, you would need like a partnership with X to kind of pass that information through. Right now, it looks like the solution on Sith ID is if you come across a video on X that you're not sure if it's real, you would have to like take that video, give it to Sith ID, and then it could then tell you whether it thinks it's real or not.
Right.
So it just seems like we're just not there. Like the organizations are mentioning it in their, their terms of use and their guidance for creators, but I don't know when, like, I'm gonna be on X and see a video and be like, I mean, I literally double check everything now, even
Yep.
from, like, verified sources
Yep.
because it's like, well, they might be feeling fooled. So I just assume everything's fake now. Like, even we had the drone, the Ukraine-Russia drone attack this weekend. First time I saw that on X, I was like, "That's fake." Like, I just assumed it was real.
Right.
And so I went and found, like, a legitimate media source. I'm like, "Oh, man, that I actually did that." Like, that wasn't um, so yeah, I've kind of arrived at that point where I just doubt everything until I verify it's real.
And especially too, and we've talked about this for several years now, that your average person also is very ill equipped to even understand what's possible. And that's never been more important or more true than today because VO3 is just jaw dropping.
It's wild.